Now let's start with this classical macroeconomics. And in this particular video, we'll discuss the different beliefs of classical macroeconomists and how did they actually differ from the mercantilist theories that we did in the previous video. So let's begin with the first belief of classical economists, which was they stressed on real factors in determining the wealth of nations. That meant that the real factors like output, employment, production, etc., should be focused more in the economy as compared to the monetary factors like the stock of precious metals in the economy, and the belief that money should play a role only in facilitating transactions as a means of exchange and shouldn't be more focused, and real factors should play a important part in the economy. And the second belief was pre-market mechanism with no government control. As we studied that mercantilist theorists assumed full government control, this classical economist propagated free market mechanism that because they believed that government policies to ensure an adequate demand for output was actually unnecessary and generally harmful. Thus, according to the classical school of thought, if market forces of demand and supply are allowed to work freely, then what will actually happen is first, there will always be full employment in the long run, and unemployment, if any, will be only a short run phenomenon. And secondly, there will be neither overproduction nor underproduction, as output will always stand at strength level. And thirdly, the economy will always be in equilibrium in the long run. Now, these classical economists made different assumptions, and some of the assumptions included the first one, the supply creates its own demand. The second one, complete dichotomy between the goods and money market. And the third one was full wage price flexibility. As we'll move on, we'll discuss each and every assumption and we'll discuss the whole concept of classical economics based on these assumptions. But in this video, we'll take up this first assumption, supply creates its own demand. It was based on the Say's law of market and it was given by the famous classical economist Jean-Baptiste Say. It said that every supply of output creates an equivalent demand for output so that there can never be a problem of general overproduction and hence aggregate demand always equal the aggregate supply. This means whatever the supply is being created in the economy is automatically being demanded. This means supply creates its own demand. Let's understand this more properly with the help of an example. Suppose an economy produced goods worth rupees 100 crores. Now, what actually happened is this creates income by way of rent, wages, etc. to the tune of rupees 100 crores. That means whatever the income is being generated becomes the source of demand for goods worth rupees 100 crores. Now, whatever am I demanding, this will be automatically supplied. So this creates supply of goods worth rupees 100 crores, and ultimately production is being generated. Now, in the next video, we'll discuss production, employment, and the various other concepts that are dependent upon the different assumptions of classical economics, and we'll move further. Thank you.